If you're watching this video, it's probably because you're curious about what it would have been like to be born in the year 50 AD in ancient Rome. More precisely, being a Roman citizen of noble lineage and wealth from that time who lived a very full life. If you're ready to travel back in time, find the most comfortable place in your house and let's get started. The day as a Roman nobleman began with the first ray of sun. As soon as he woke up, he put on his toga with the help of a diligent servant to perform the daily ceremony of a patrician, la Salutatio. Here, all those close to the patrician were personally welcomed. Every dawn, the doorman threw open the doors of the house to let in a crowd of visitors from different social classes. A butler escorted close friends and those of equal standing to the master's bedroom. A crowd composed of those in need, humble people and workers, waited patiently for their turn, either outside the house or in a vestibule, until the master granted them permission to enter the atrium, greet him, and receive their modest gratification. There was one slave especially trained to recognize visitors and remember everyone's family ties. Known as the gazetteer, he stood next to the master and whispered each one's name, which the lord repeated as he shook hands and gave them the sportula, delivering so much money or food. In addition to receiving his friends, who were required to appear for the Salutatio, the emperor gave an audience to the senators, who were accompanied by wives and children. After this ritual was completed, the Roman nobleman would go to the forum, where the patrician dedicated a large part of his day to his professional occupation, known as negotium, whether working as an orator, jurist, or financier. Most of his time was dedicated to the courts of law, where intense battles were fought to achieve the political fall of his adversaries, and on the other hand, to defend friends or clients from accusations against them. When noon arrived, the Roman citizens took a break from work to rest. The nobleman enjoyed a nap and later returned to political and judicial activities in the forum until the closing of the Senate. Often a patrician also had to visit the outskirts of the city to win over the vote of the peasants, where he offered them his support, protection, and wealth. Once matters were concluded, the noble patrician could enjoy his precious moments of leisure. First a visit to the barber shop, then a pause for relaxation in the hot springs, or a serene walk through the porticos of the Champ de Mars. One of the most valued daily appointments for the Romans is still important to us today in modern society. We're talking about dinner. This was a fundamental event where social relationships were strengthened that could decisively influence success in both social and political domains. Families displayed their heritage and opulence with priceless tableware and exotic delicacies. When the guests arrived, they were greeted by a server who assisted the visitors in changing from a toga to a senatory vestment, a light and comfortable garment that gave them the necessary freedom to enjoy the event. Then the sandals were carefully removed, followed by a ceremonial washing of hands and feet. Finally, the diners were taken to their places on one of the luxurious beds arranged in the triclinium, on which sumptuous fabrics were spread to add a touch of consummate elegance. The courses, which could be between 3 and 7, were served with a choreographic display worthy of the gods. Each dish was carried by a group of slaves under the supervision of a master of ceremonies. The moment of dessert marked the beginning of the final phase of the banquet, called the commissatio, in which a torrent of drinks was unleashed and a variety of entertainment was provided by talented musicians, singers with angelic voices, and dancers who hypnotized with their movements. The guests rejoiced, retired in groups accompanied by their loyal slaves. The host, for his part, retreated to his modest cubicle until the light of dawn welcomed a new day of commitments and responsibilities. Without a doubt, if you belonged to a high social class in ancient Rome, you had access to benefits that the majority of the population could only dream about. Because at this time, despite a long-lasting peace, the empire was in turmoil because of rampant inflation, giving rise to a large gap between the poor and the rich. If you were one of the lucky ones, ancient Rome in 50 AD was a great time to live. But in just a few years later, the fall of Rome would occur. And I assure you, that's a period of time no one would like to live in, when not even the emperor could be saved. What do you think of living a day in the life of a patrician? Would you leave the comforts of modernity to enter this tumultuous era? Let me know in the comments. If you haven't already, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and activate our notifications so you know when we post our next video. And you can join us for another exciting journey into the past.